So we have about 10 minutes or so, 10, 15 minutes for questions. So we'll take one from here. Yes, right up front.
I love everything you said. It's wonderful to hear that. And, you know, it took us a while to add the word technology to our mission. And I'm wondering, did you ever consider adding the word knowledge? Because it seems like, well, I'm reading the new atlas. The atlas of new librarianship. And
Right.
I'm wondering if knowledge isn't a word you want to get in there.
Well, that's a good point. Stop it. I'm
yelling at you.
The technology. I'm trying to. I want to put up I think that knowledge. I think what you're talking about. I relate to knowledge, but to me, the T word is what everybody's focusing on right now. So we have. I mean, a lit program helps students to achieve skills and knowledge. And that's another way to say it. And that's the way I might think. I don't know if you guys have a comment on that while I try to still play with this. No?
I don't know. I'm thinking that's a big
Another
one
question?
right now.
Go ahead.
I like the idea of creating a board, but I'm bordering on terrified to even consider establishing one because I'm seen as a babysitter and a teacher doesn't want to do this, let's go on a librarian. How do you move past that?
Well, so the advisory board, first of all, you need to, in a way, you can't pick it, right? And so you want movers and shaker teachers, you know, are respected, but also get it. And the beauty of the pie chart side, even though it may not seem sexy, is that it's fixed, right? And if you add to one, like the years, if you make one of the years bigger, the others have to get smaller and adjusted. And once the committee starts to realize that there are limits, then it's less fear in some ways, as far as I'm concerned, because there's an accountability. The other thing is, if they want more, we build bigger pies, right? And to build a bigger pie requires more resources and things like that. So I really think it's an education tool for your other classroom teachers and whatever, and also with the community. You want to make a comment about that? So, you know, I don't see how today I can't imagine running a library information technology program in a school, being a teacher librarian, without an advisory board helping to make that decision. And in my opinion, the clearest path to more staff, more resources, more recognition, whatever, is the advisory groups, community, and
Well, I think the most important thing would be to start really small. Don't have this idea that you're going to change it in 1 year or even 2. That you start really small with a couple of your friends and say, you know, here's what I need to do. Here is my job. This is this LIT document. I need to do this. Can you help me figure out how within what it looks like currently, what I can do? And maybe we can pick just 3 things that I'm going to be able to do this year. And because I want you to do that.
I just would like to add that the way that Sarah and I lured people into, besides chocolate, was we just had a very specific project that we needed help with. We weren't necessarily talking about the whole program. But once we needed their help to do a specific project, then they got kind of interested in what was going on. So that might just be a little foot in the door.
do we have any?
Yeah, we've got some questions from the back of the room. One's in Finland, one's in Connecticut. There's any number of people throughout Washington State, some with questions. And one was with Sarah about the Library Advisory Board. If you were picking a dream team, or if you were looking for that, some of that's addressed by the comments just made, but do you want to take another stab at that? What would be your dream team?
Well, and I have had one in the past, especially in more trying times in my library. But I start with program leader people, so people that are leading their departments. I look at people that aren't necessarily library users, but I have that kind of relationship that I have a friendly relationship with, or I see there's a little kernel of potential. I also look at people that need some help in their classroom. People that might be struggling a little bit. Either they're kind of burned out, or they're in a new teaching role, And I want to bring them in because I can say, hey, I can help you with that. I can help make your job easier. I also want to make sure an administrator is on that, and you want the powerful administrator if possible, not necessarily just the building manager person that does scheduling kind of stuff. And I try to have a paraprofessional, whether it's my assistant or another paraprofessional.
All right, how about for the back of our room here? Yes.
What about the student voice and the community voice?
You want? I can't get over there, Susan, so you gotta come here and whatever. Yeah, you should, because we've talked about that a lot.
Yeah. In terms of, I would hope that each of you has in your library a couple of passionate students that are there around the clock, and that obviously I think would be a good place to start. In terms of drawing parents into the process, one of the things we had kind of talked about was a stage of having students survey their parents about what their interests and what their hopes for their children are with respect to library, information technology, and literacy. To get that connection between a student and a parent, I think if you did something like that, it may, I think you'd find your parents who really want to be involved in the process at the building level. So we had also, Lisa and I also talked about having a handful of students go out into the broader community and interview and survey folks in the district and their legislators. What better way to create vestedness in what the end product will be than to draw the students and the parents, but especially to have the students be so central in that process of going out there and talking with and surveying their own parents and perhaps also people at the district level. And I would absolutely say at the state level as well. I mean, what legislator is going to say, sorry, I don't have time to talk to you about that? It's a good way to create that vestedness.
And I would say, don't just go for the kids that are lit users already. Go for some of the ones that aren't. So, you know, the quarterback of the football team, or the goalie for the girls soccer, or the volleyball player. Get a few of those kids in the student council and whatever. You want to have them begin to learn. And this is, you know, we talk about the students learning in different ways as well by being part of a committee like this. Students learn about governance, and they learn about vision, and they learn about how things happen. So I think that's important as well. We want to go after users, but we also want to get to the non-users. Got another online one?
Well, no, we have a number of people online, including the bookend to this conference. Joyce Valenza tapped in to say hello. She's still teaching today in New Canaan. But I want to give this group here a chance to applaud the audience and vice versa. This is a powerful message, and thank you.
That's it. You got to get to the next session. So we'll be around for all the talking. One last time. The mission is to ensure that students are effective users and producers of ideas and information. Go change the world.